I think we're entering back into that golden age, especially because of backcountry aviation. We're getting back into one of those golden eras of aviation where people are truly saying, wow, this is a freedom that I can have.
Yeah, Tom Wilson here at AirVenture 2025. This is our first stop, so very excited to be here with Carsey Stilson, and we're going to take a look at his Zenith. When did you build this?
I just finished this plane 2 weeks ago. It was a 2.5-year build process. I started in December of 2022.
Why did you pick a Zenith?
Interestingly enough, so I actually have a bush plane. I have a Rans S20 Raven, the hybrid version with the metal wing, and it's a beautiful plane, and I was flying that and got a lot of tailwheel experience, but it was built by somebody else. And as I kind of saw the bespoke, fun features of that aircraft that was the other builders playing, it was like, I work to build my own sometime. And I saw a lot of the people building these backcountry airplanes, and the Cubs and all these other tailwheel aircraft. And I was like, what can a nose wheel aircraft do? And I kind of saw and I came to AirVenture back in 2021, 2022, and saw the Zenith, the Super Duty. Because originally I thought, Zenith, they're kind of, they're interesting looking aircraft.
Yep.
But I felt the Super Duty really rounded things out. The larger wheelbase, the bigger wheels, it just felt like a more mature version of a Zenith aircraft. And I was immediately drawn to it as the Jeep disguise. So I saw that kit and I was like, man, I want to make something happen. So I got one and I went to the rudder workshop that they do in Mexico, Missouri, experienced the build process, which is, to me was a whole new thing. I'd never done any sort of aluminum work, metal work, like shop class at middle school, right? Really. But after experiencing that, seeing the match full drill kit and how easy it was to assemble, put together, I was like, anybody can do this, right? Loved my experience at the rudder workshop, but had a kit arrive just a 3 months later.
Obviously, always fundamentals, but performance and the personality of an airplane. You got a bigger engine on this one.
Yes.
So I could see it bulging out of its cowling here. So what do you got hiding under there?
Yeah, this is the Lycoming IL390. It's the non-certified version that's the kit. But it's more or less, it's almost the exact same engine as the certified variant. Very reliable, trustworthy, and powerful. 215 horse. And I just actually, on my way here, made it through the break-in period. I utilized the beauty of task-based flight testing to get all my tasks done. But that said, we were very much still experimenting and testing the aircraft as we traveled here. And after that break-in period, the engine is just running phenomenally. I mean, we're seeing cruise speeds. If I want to put in 12, 13 gallons an hour, I'm getting almost 120 miles an hour, which is pretty.
That's dragging it along.
It is moving it for a Super Duty. But at the same time, I can lean it back to 8.5 and still get nearly 100 miles an hour.
So you can get there if you need to.
Absolutely. I mean, I can go from, if I want 3 hours of endurance, or I can get almost 5.
Right.
Which is pretty great.
Pretty good. Are you empty when you get there? That's it. If you use the power.
Yeah, you can definitely push it. I try to factor in that. But, I think I found my really happy place is at that 10 a gallon an hour going about 105 to 100 grand.
It's great. It's good utility. Yeah.
I worked with Evoke Aircraft Design to come up with the paint schema design, and then I trusted the team at Artcraft Paint to actually bring it to life. I didn't paint it myself. I don't think I'm quite as capable of that. I kind of left that to the pros to share. But yeah, they painted the plane. It's all based on the custom topography. I have a tattoo that a lot of people recognize. It's a sectional chart of Zion National Park. And it's the first flight that I took my wife and kids on as their pilot.
That's never going to blow out the window. Right?
And it's not. Yeah. I utilized this same topography and I made a repeatable pattern that we put on the rear of the plane, and it kind of gradient. We have the light gray to dark gray gradient to bring that sectional chart out. And then we use that same topography in the seats as well, on the seat back.
You've obviously made the investment here in a constant speed.
Yep. So this is the Hartzell 80-inch Trailblazer prop. So this is, full constant speed. This is already a relatively nose-heavy aircraft, but this actually, because it's composite, Hartzell is so good about making such great composite propellers. I'm getting amazing performance, comparable to even a less heavy, when I factor in heavy, I'm talking about the hub and the governor into the constant speed proportion. I'm seeing such good performance numbers on this that it's been actually really impressive.
Rolling stock. Anything special down here we should talk about on wheels and tires?
On my gear, this is funny enough. People are always like, "What special stuff that you put on?" This is what comes with the Zenith Super Duty kit. Mm-hmm. It's the Aero Classics. I believe they're 27.5-inch, if I recall. Yeah, 27.5s on the sides. They're typical 8s on the air hops up front.
It's trail ready, as some people would say. I think I would put larger wheels on it. It's not necessary for. Love the lift up doors.
Thank you.
So practical.
Yeah, so I went with the full Garmin G3X panel. So this is an experimental panel. It's got the dual G3X, both the the landscape 10-inch and then the vertical 7-inch, which I utilize this is my primary flight display here, map here, and then engine monitoring on this side. So it covers everything I need. Interestingly enough, Extra Aircraft actually built my panel for me.
Really?
I reached out to them and they're like, we would love to. They have this beautiful, this is a forged carbon fiber panel fitting here. And I had seen them do it on their aircraft. And I said, well, where do you guys get that forged carbon fiber? Like, we make it ourselves. And I was like, would you make me one? And they're like, absolutely. And so they are part of this build too, which was incredible. I joke that my plane is now plus and minus 10G capable because of my panel.
Because you got an extra panel on it. And it's funny that, it's cohesively, visually, this ties in with your aft fuselage.
It does.
Yeah.
And they even did the milled switches and stuff for me. It turned out just awesome. I'm very pleased.
Manly stuff there, yeah.
Yep, so Sport Aircraft Seats did these. These are custom seats. We actually redesigned the Zenith seat. It originally kind of has an arch to it, which for a shorter pilot I think is good because it kind of hits your neck and it's like a neck rest. As a taller person, it actually hits into my back. So we redesigned the seat, put a lot more lumbar support in, and now I worked with him to produce them for Zenith pilots, and so these are rebuilt seats. It was just extremely comfortable. So they're all custom based on the same topography, and then we actually burns the whiskey meat, lasered it into the top on the seats. So I worked with a company called 67 Designs. They make lots of mounts and stuff, and they have these rails here that I actually installed, and I will put a Starlink in here to have in-flight Wi-Fi. And in the backcountry, I can have communication to be able to reach and contact people. So I put in power supplies through here where all my wiring is, so I can have internet or anything there. On the edge of the wings, and we'll get to those in a sec, I have camera power that I can then record and do all of my flying without having to worry about switching batteries. And it's actually a safety feature for me, because when I get in the plane, if people who are, influencing and recording what they're flying, if you're concerned about your cameras not working, it's now something that's taking your mind off of the important thing, which is flying.
Yeah, you're a cameraman and not a pilot.
Exactly.
Right.
All I do is flip this switch and I don't think about the rest.
Right.
So
it's integrated. It's an integral part of this airplane, the ability to shoot video.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is, you'll see that we can extend it all the way out.
These are my Insta360.
Yes. Well, I utilize the Insta360 X5 camera, which I can then put on this. And the camera built into the actual camera's artificial intelligence capability makes this whole thing invisible. So the shot appears as if you're just flying in front of the airplane. And it's really, really impressive. And then I can pull power that I've run. And the beauty of kit planes and experimental aviation is I ran wire.
And I'd ask the FAA if he could do that.
Exactly. OSC is required. So I've got power here and a water-resistant power port. I can then run it up to my camera and flip that switch and it turns on and starts recording immediately. So it's very, very nice.
Sure. How about the stability of the mount? Does the electronics take the jiggle out?
No, it wiggles, but yes, absolutely. Because when I'm flying, it'll do this. But the camera is built-in stabilization. You don't even know. It's pretty impressive.
Better living through electronics.
Yeah.
This is quite the span here.
This is just the first, I have another one on the other side, and I actually plan to do a really unique custom mount based off of my tail. Try to go out and up to give you that video game-esque shot over the aircraft. There's a couple fun places I plan to try to integrate mounts to see what I can get shot-wise.
Great.
So this is everything I did on this was inspiration from southern Utah, the greater Zion area. It's, you have the mountain actual silhouette with the copper, which kind of pulls in that red rock. Also, we have with a lot of lava rock where we live. And the topography is, again, based off of southern Utah. And it's just my love letter to where I live. It's truly one of the most stunning places in the world and one of the most incredible backcountry aviation places.
Well, I think it's a great illustration of your creativity. And bringing it in.
Thank you. I'm very happy with it. Great.
All right.
Super.
Cool.
Thank you.
Superb.
And you are in Utah, correct?
Yes, I'm in southern Utah. I'm based in St. George, just an hour and a half from Las Vegas, in the Red Rocks, Zion National Park, which is this, and then Grand Canyon. I plan to be playing a lot out there.
And we also can find you on the web, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. So this all started, I have a company called Wearworthy, but more of a social media channel is what it's turned into, where people have been following my moves. And it's absolutely blown up. In the last 3 years, we went from 5,000 to 1.2 million followers. My airplane is kind of a testament to what you can do with experimental aviation. That's kind of where my passion is. But kit planes in general are a magical way to enter into aviation because they're getting better, they're getting more capable.
Right.
The production processes are improving so dramatically that you can assemble one in 500 to 700 hours, or you can assemble one that just did everything you want for half the price of what a certified comparable aircraft you do.
Right.
I think that this, in my goal with Wereworthy, was to show people what experimental aviation is, show people that, yeah, you can get into this with a couple friends, the same price of buying a fancy speedboat or a wakeboard boat, right? Or some toy hauler. Something
Actually, it was approachable.
It's very
a stretch. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I really want to. I think we're entering back into that golden age, especially because of backcountry aviation. We're getting back into one of those golden eras of aviation where people are truly saying, "Wow, this is a freedom that I can have."
Well, the airplane has utility. It's more than just up, drive around, come back down again.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it seems to me that this airplane's a good example of the fact that a modern kit, reasonably easy to assemble, it doesn't require tons of, hand massage to start with. Okay? So you get a functioning airplane relatively quickly, but then it's your blank canvas to start from there. Getting an airplane build is like the jumping out point. And clearly, this airplane seems to be a good example of that.
It is. It's fun to go to like the Zenith homecoming in September and see all these Zeniths show up, and they are all starkly different. Everybody has put their own touch into it, different engines, different avionics. It truly is the blank canvas, and it just allows people to, really have a form of expression to make something that's custom to them, which is what I wanted after seeing my RANs and going, what could I make for myself?